Coach Prime in Colorado have been making a lot of moves since Deion first got hired to Boulder. Number one transfer portal class, flipped 5-star cornerback Cormani McClain from Miami. But Deion Sanders has a really tough season ahead of him, his first year as the head man in Colorado. I mean, their first game of the year, they're playing TCU. The team that was just in the national championship game. Then you got to play Matt Rule in Nebraska. Then you got to play your rival Colorado State, which probably is the only game that we can look at on this schedule and say, yeah, without a doubt, Colorado's going to win that game. And then after that, you enter conference play. You got to play Oregon on the road at Autzen, one of the hardest places to win that in college football. Then you got USC, Arizona State with Kenny Dillingham, Stanford. They're going to be a little bit down. It's going to take a while for that thing to get going. But I mean, this is a really tough schedule that Deion Sanders has going into his first year as the head coach of Colorado football. Then after their bye week, you got to play UCLA, Oregon State, Arizona, Washington State, Utah. Deion Sanders is walking into a very tough first year. This isn't going to be no cakewalk, and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't prefer it to be any other way. He wants to be challenged. His players, they're going to be up for the task. They should at least be bowl eligible. I'm not questioning that. I'm just saying, doggone it. Like, well, Deion, we're going to see just how good of a coach you are right away. Game one, you're playing TCU. You're going against one of the best coaches in college football, and Sonny Dykes, who was the coach of the year. Then you got to face off against another coach in a new place, Matt Rule. Matt Rule, also somebody who has had a lot of momentum this offseason since he got hired up there in the cornfields. You bring in Jeff Sims from the transfer portal. You bring in a couple of other big names such as Arik Gilbert. Nebraska is going to be a really tough outing this year in the Big Ten West. And then Oregon, we pretty much view them as a perennial college football playoff contender this year with Bo Nix coming back. USC, same thing with them. Caleb Williams, won the Heisman. Lincoln Riley, best offensive mind in the sport. And you look at Deion Sanders' roster, they have a top 25 roster based on talent when you include their transfer portal class and their recruiting class. But some of these teams that they're going to be facing off against, such as USC, Oregon, they have some of the best rosters in college football. Oregon State, they're coming off one of their best seasons in program history. And then not just that, but they got better at quarterback with DJ Uyunglele transferring from Clemson to there. And if they would have had better quarterback play this season, they probably would have ended up upsetting USC. But their quarterback at the time, Chance Nolan, had threw 4 interceptions. He pretty much gifted the game away. Oregon State, they're a team who could end up being a sleeper college football playoff contender. The Pac-12 is going to be a really tough conference this year. We talk about how tough the Big 12 was during the 2022 college football, but the Pac-12 has the potential to be the best conference or the second best conference in the sport, right behind the SEC. And yeah, just as good as the Big Ten. The Big Ten, we don't know how good Ohio State is going to be. And the Big Ten doesn't really have a lot of depth. Pac-12 football this year, not only do you have teams such as Oregon, USC, and Utah who are going to be in the conversation for making it into the college football playoffs, but you also have programs on the rise such as Oregon State, UCLA, even Arizona could end up popping off. This is going to be a really challenging first year for Coach Prime and Boulder. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to end up not being able to be successful. I believe in Coach Prime. I believe that they're going to be able to win at least 6 games. But this season, this schedule, really difficult. You look at Deion Sanders, without a doubt, he's probably one of the best quarterbacks in this conference. I don't know where you would rank him. I probably would rank him 3rd behind Michael Penix. You have Bo Nix, Caleb Williams ahead of him, but that's really about it. So Shedeur, not the third, but fourth best quarterback in this conference. You got Travis Hunter. You got Cormani McClain. That's going to be one of the best quarterback duos in this league. And then not just that, but the Pac-12 didn't really have a lot of great defense. As a matter of fact, the best defensive team in this conference was Oregon State. So for Colorado, it's not like this is just a completely tough schedule and they don't have a shot. But this conference this year, the Pac-12, a large reason why they've had a hard time getting teams into the playoffs is because late in the season, they end up taking losses to teams that you never would expect them to lose to. Like Utah beating Oregon twice in the fashion that they did. Nobody would have expected that. I'm not talking about this past season. I'm talking about the previous season when they had Mario Cristobal before he left for South Beach. Many people thought that Oregon, they were going to end up making it because they had beat Ohio State and all they had to do was win out. And then they played Utah and they got clobbered twice. This is a really difficult conference. And what's even more difficult is being able to win late in the year when you end up getting a lot of hype. Normally, teams in this conference that end up struggling are the teams that end up being highly ranked. They get into that top 10, top 5 conversation, and all they have to do is win out and they control their own destiny, and they end up slipping up down the stretch. Coach Prime, Colorado, they got a really difficult first season coming up under Deion Sanders in his first season as their head coach. Are they going to be able to get up for it? You guys let me know how you guys feel about Deion Sanders. What are you expecting out of Colorado football year one under Coach Prime? Let me know down in the comment section down below.